we are very picky about the people who we have come on as guests on Holistic Healthline. We want people who are fact-based, science-backed up, that know their stuff, experts in their field that can help us to stay healthy and well. And in particular, we've been talking about how important right now the immune system is. And right now, we're going to kind of shift focus of the immune system and the respiratory system. And so we want to welcome Nathan Jones back. He's been on numerous times, and it's been almost 2 decades now since you founded Xlear Incorporated, the xylitol product-based company whose revolutionary all-natural approach to upper respiratory and oral health has improved the quality of life for people all around the world. I mean, it's pretty amazing. Hi, Nathan.
Hello. How you doing?
Excellent.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Nate, we are talking about respiratory health. It seems that, especially right now, what we're facing with COVID is a respiratory disease, and there are, of course, lots of other respiratory diseases. So we've been talking about keeping your immune system up in general to help your body defend itself. But you got interesting information as far as xylitol specifically helping in the respiratory system.
Well, xylitol, I mean, that's what our product is, we are a xylitol-based company. Our products that we sell are oral care products, the spray oral care products, and our nasal spray products. They're all based on xylitol because there's a long history of xylitol having a benefit. But with this COVID thing, that it really isn't the xylitol that we found is what's killing the virus. It's actually the grapefruit seed extract that we use in there as a preservative. And in the studies that we've done, the amount that we use in our nasal spray as a preservative will kill the virus as fast as a 70% solution of alcohol.
Wow. That's amazing.
And I understand.
And I don't know if you guys saw the paper that was published the day before yesterday out of UNC Chapel Hill.
Yeah, we were going to ask you about that.
Well, that was because that's actually something that we've been saying for 4 months now. That's something that we told the FDA 4 months ago in February. And they didn't believe us, but the University of Chapel Hill, I saw that paper, and I was, it's good to know that they're finally catching up.
Can you explain to the listeners a little bit what that was about?
Really, what the paper said was they were looking at how the coronavirus, the COVID, actually enters the body and spreads in the body. And what they pointed out is something that we've already known, is that the vast majority, close to 90% of the viral load is in the upper airway. And we've been saying now, since it started, that they need to find something that'll kill the virus and just spray it up their nose. But you have to find something that's going to kill the virus that doesn't hurt the person. And if you can kill it in the nose, then you're going to kill it. Because what that article, that paper from the University of North Carolina said was it isn't until the disease is fairly progressed that it actually causes pneumonia and all the issues in the lungs. And so you've got a fair amount of time from the time you catch the disease until it's actually getting into your lungs. And in that article, they just said, the best thing to do is put something in a nasal spray. They use the words antiviral, but a lot of people use the words antiviral and virucidal, interchangeably, and they're really not. Because the difference between a virucidal is it kills a virus, it destroys it, it tears it apart, it's dead, it's gone. And an antiviral can actually be, there's a number of different things that are antiviral, but an antiviral is something that blocks adhesion of the virus. But what that means is the virus is still there, and it can go somewhere else and still get you infected. So they're both good, But if you can choose between a virucidal and an antiviral, you obviously pick the virucidal. And the grapefruit seed extract that we have in our product it's a virucidal. That's why we use it as a preservative.
And the Xlear nasal spray, which contains the xylitol as well as the grapefruit seed extract, has, again, been utilized for years, particularly beneficial for children as well as adults, as far as, again, preventing various types of infections up in the sinuses. I'm surprised that, it took them this long to figure this out, as far as, if you stop the infection up in the sinuses, you're going to stop it going down into the lungs.
Well, science is, well, I'm kidding. No, my father, who is a physician, has been talking about that for a long time. And, I just have to point this out. When you said we've been selling it for a long time, we've been selling it for 20 years this week.
Wow. Congratulations.
We've been selling for 20 years this week.
And and you've learned a lot. I mean, you knew a lot before as far as the different benefits of xylitol, but you're continuing to learn, and certainly in the last few years, even, you've learned a lot more about it.
Oh, there is so much science and research being done with xylitol right now that it's kind of crazy. I mean, there's studies where they've used, I don't want to get off topic of talking about COVID, but there's actually studies out there where with people with oral cancer, they replace 20% of their daily intake of sugar with xylitol, and it stopped the progression of the oral cancer. Wow. There's studies out there with lung cancer. There's a lot of studies out there with it. And the thing is that it isn't that xylitol is this miracle molecule or something. It's that what they're doing is they're actually replacing sugar, and it's that sugar really is that bad for us.
And it's something, again, a side note on a very basic level, aside from the health benefits of xylitol, it is a great sugar substitute. For anybody who has not tried it, it tastes like sugar. So
yeah,
it's a great way.
And it's not a question of, people say that you shouldn't eat sweets and you can't eat candy and whatnot. It isn't that you can't eat candy. It's just you have to know what's in your candy, and you don't want it to have the 6 carbon sugars that bacteria eat.
And can you go into that a little bit as far as you say, 6 carbon sugar that bacteria eat? What's the difference?
What I'm saying by that is that the bacteria that live in our mouth and that cause us, to have cavities, strep mutans, it's that strep bacteria. But the bacteria like strep and staph and H. flu and all of these other bacteria that live in our mouth and in our body, some of them it's a symbiotic relationship, but the ones that make acid, not really. But all of these bacteria eat 6 carbon sugars, and they break them down and live on them. And xylitol, and there's other sugar alcohols out there like erythritol that's very popular, and erythritol is actually a very good option. If you're trying to lose weight, erythritol is a great option. There's 0 calories in it. And it looks like sugar. It cooks a little bit different, but it's only about half as sweet. But people mix, and I don't want to get off topic of xylitol and healthcare, but erythritol is a great sweetener for people that just want to lose weight or if they're diabetic. And you mix monk fruit with it, and it makes a great sweetener. But those are 4 carbon, and xylitol is a 5 carbon sugar. And the bacteria that metabolize 6 carbon sugars, they can't metabolize 5 carbon and 4 carbon sugars. And so if you change out those sugars in their environment, they've done a lot of studies showing that if you use xylitol on a regular basis for a couple of months, you're actually going to change the microbiome of bacteria in your mouth to bacteria that don't create acid.
And that has to have an effect as far as, again, you're making the environment healthier you're going to fight off these various pathogens more effectively.
Correct. 100% correct.
Nate, we got to take a quick break, and when we get back, again, I want to kind of go back. I mean, we have the Xlear nasal spray, but we also have the Rescue nasal spray from Xlear, which is we found to be, you know, absolutely awesome. And get into like how many times can people use it? How often should they use it? And the safety aspect of it. We're talking about, in particular, a new study that came out in the 2020 June 2020 journal Cell, basically saying that there are very specific cells up in the sinuses, up in the nose, that seem to be very responsive to this virus that's floating around out there, and causing all sorts of problems, particularly once it gets down into the respiratory tract. But if you can eliminate it from the sinuses before it has that chance to go down into the respiratory tract, or if it potentially can go down into the stomach, wash it out of the sinuses so it goes down into the stomach and gets destroyed there, you're going to hopefully prevent getting a respiratory infection, which has, you know, been causing, you know, people to end up in the hospital on ventilators, as well as unfortunately passing away. Nate, how, again, your dad designed the Xlear nasal spray, particularly for children. That tells me this is very safe.
It's incredibly safe. We have been using and selling this product for 20 years, and we have never had a complaint or somebody calling in and saying, this hurt me.
It is, in fact,
I'll be honest, we've had some people that let their dogs get into it. This is xylitol is not something you give to your dog. But other than that, we have never had anybody call in and with a complaint that it hurt them.
The human body actually produces some xylitol itself, right?
Correct.
So he can't be allergic to it or sensitive to it if your body's producing the stuff.
Now, how often, Nate, do you feel people should be using the Xlear nasal spray?
Well, that's a tricky question, and I'll answer it with a tricky answer. No, I'm kidding. It is kind of it's a different question. I mean, it's many questions, because that depends on a lot of factors. What we tell people is to use it on a regular basis. It is a hygiene tool. It is meant to be used just like brushing your teeth, just like washing your hands. It's meant to be used as a hygiene tool to wash out your upper airway, to help clean out all of the crud that your nose is filtering out of the air you're breathing. What we do tell people is that for the first couple of weeks that they use it 3 or 4 times a day. After that, once in the morning, once at night. Put it with your toothbrush. When you brush your teeth in the morning, spray your nose. When you brush your teeth at night, spray your nose. People that are working in hospitals, people that are working in daycare centers or in assisted living centers, we would tell them to use it, maybe 2 or 3 times extra during the day. And the reason for that is because your mucociliary clearance cycle, the time that it takes for your nose to make snot at the beginning, at the front of your nose, and the time it takes for that to get swished and moved back to the back of your nose where you unconsciously swallow it, is about 3 to 4 hours. And so if you think that you're going to be sick or you think you're exposed, then you want to keep the pressure on there, and you want to keep the xylitol and the grapefruit seed extract, you want to keep that in your mucus, in your snot, for that whole mucociliary clearance cycle. And so if you feel like you're exposed, if you feel like you're sick, you want to keep that in there. So use it every 3 or 4 hours. If you're just using it as a hygiene tool, once in the morning, once at night.
Now you had the regular Xlear, and you had the Xlear Rescue. When would you decide to use one over the other?
The Xlear, the regular Xlear, again, that is a daily hygiene tool. We have the Xlear Max, which has capsaicin in it, which most of the people that use our product actually use it for allergies. And so the Xlear Max is designed with an antihistamine. It's a natural antihistamine, capsaicin. And so if you know that you're going to have allergies every April, every May, you use that one for the time frame that you would normally have allergies. And it's just, the goal is to get you to use less of the OTC drugs that, sometime there's a time and a place for them. We think that my opinion is that, Americans are heavily over-medicated. And so we're just trying to cut down the amount of medication they're using. The rescue product that you talked about, I've been sick once in 22 years now. And when I got sick, I had a sinus infection, and I went to the doctor, and he gave me some amoxicillin, and I was about to take it. But it's a systemic thing, and I had a sinus infection. The infection's in my sinuses. And so I actually and I've said this before, don't do it at home, but I opened up a capsule, dumped it into a bottle of Xlear, and squirted up my nose, and my sinus infection was gone the next morning when I woke up, like gone. and I was like, that's crazy. And I got on the phone, and I'm going over this with my dad, and I said, Dad, why aren't they making a nasal spray with an antibiotic? And he goes, they should. I don't know why they're not. And I brought that up to probably hundreds, if not thousands of physicians, and every one of them was like, yeah, that makes sense. So we actually put oregano, tea tree, eucalyptus, polyarco, a bunch of these antimicrobials, these oils, these natural oils that we know kill some of these bacteria, and we put those into a nasal spray to help knock down whatever's causing your issues faster. So you're going to get better faster.
I just want to quickly jump in and because we're getting towards the end of the program, just so people know that the Xlear nasal products are available at Walmart, CVS, Whole Foods, Vitamin Shop, Rite Aid, and other natural product retailers nationwide. And you can also go to www.xlear.com. Again, www.xlear.com, readily available. So check it out. This is something that is so important with what's going on right now.
And of course, at our office, the Tree of Life Wellness Center, we have all the Xlear and spray products available there as well.
And Nate, before we run out of time, is there anything else that you feel important for people to know about Xlear nasal products, and again, respiratory health and staying healthy and well right now as much as possible, and how important it is?
The thing that I would actually say is that it's a very politically charged environment because of this, but I don't understand why our government and our when I say our government, I mean our healthcare agencies like the CDC and the NIH and the FDA. I don't know why they haven't pursued using a nasal spray option before now. And if people can actually speak up and ask that question, it would be helpful, because University of North Carolina, they're the first ones to come out and say it makes good sense and we have some science to back it up. But what I would tell the people is start using a nasal spray. There's other options other than ours. There's one that has nitric oxide in it. Stanford is looking at one with iodine in it. There's a bunch of different options, because all you really need to do is get something up there that will kill the virus in your upper airway. And ours just happens to, be one out there of one of a couple that'll do it. But start using it, and use it on a regular basis until this thing is behind us.
And again, I think, yes, there's others out there, but with the xylitol, you're creating a healthier environment overall. You're going to get more benefits aside from
that is true. And that's long term, that is ours. I like to think ours is the best option, because if it wasn't, then I'd try to make it better, which we already are.
Well, Nate,
but that's because I only like to sell the best stuff.
Unfortunately, we run out of time here, but we sincerely hope that you are leading the way here and getting the word out to people to continue that, because COVID doesn't seem to be going away anytime soon. And the more we can help people and get a healthier community, the less we're going to keep people out of the hospital. And we really appreciate you spreading the word.
The more we're going to keep people out of the hospital.
Yep.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. And again, everybody go to www.xlear.com. You'll find all their different products, but also go, to all the different stores, because it's out there, and keep yourself healthy and well. Thanks, Nate.